When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Absolutely, unequivocally, yes, is the answer. Now, here is the host of The Long Bearded Guy, the Chief Catalyst, Strategist Guide at Jewel International, Gordon D Melville.
Hey everybody, welcome. It's Friday, May 12th already. Welcome, Red Fridays. We talk about, you're with the Long Bearded Guy, Gordon D Melville on Inspired Choices Network. Red Friday, red, R-E-D. Remember, everyone deployed. Military, whether they should be there or not is a moot point for me. We're supporting the troops, no matter where they are, no matter where they're, the actual soldiers in the field. They're just doing their job, told where to go. So I want to remember them all. Mad respect for them all. Today, we're going to talk about emotional intelligence, self-mastery. This is part 8 of our series, however long it's going to be. But self-mastery. Last week, we talked about self-control. People have said, Gord, that's the same thing. Self-mastery, self-control, same thing. Nope, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. And we'll talk about that today. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I deeply appreciate you joining me today. Time is the most precious resource we all have because it's not renewable. You can make more money, you can make more lots of things, but you can't make more time. We all only have 24 hours in a day, right? 86,400 seconds in a day. We all have the same amount and we can't make more of it. We can invest it and expand it in lots of different ways, but we all have the same amount of time. So it's our most precious resource, and you're spending some of it with me today. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. There's people listening that I know are on the road. There's people listening that are at the office. There's people listening all over the place. And I really appreciate them being here. So we want to talk today in terms of emotional mastery, self-mastery. Do you feel this way? I feel this way sometimes. Life's not happening to me. Okay, we've talked about that before. Life not happening to me, but making life happen. The challenge is sometimes we get success, but we don't feel successful. That anybody else? Am I the only one that feels that way? Other people feel that way. I get success, but somehow, for some reason, I don't feel successful. I get what I wanted, but I don't feel successful. Why? Self-mastery is why I don't feel. We'll talk around that. I'm excited to have you here today. Find me on Apple TV, Google TV, Spotify, Amazon Fire, Roku, LG and Samsung Smart TVs, Inspired Choices Network on the app. Find us on the app, Inspired Choices Network, on any smart TV, anywhere you would look. Matter of fact, inspiredchoicesnetwork.tv will give you watch it on TV. You can watch the shows. That's a brand new thing we're all excited about. InspiredChoicesNetwork.tv. Watch the show. Amazing. And that's helping with engagement. We've got a massive reach, hundreds of millions reach, but we want engagement. We want to be able to have those people engage and talk to us. So please love, like, share, subscribe. It's a free subscription, doesn't cost anything. Like, love, share, and subscribe. Share it with your friends. My mission for the 10 million men, I can't do without help. I need that engagement. Please share this with other people. All right, let's get into it. We got lots to talk about today. Let's get after it. So, definitions and meanings. So overthinking, self-doubt, self-judging, use at times to beat ourselves up. We talked about that last week in terms of self-control. A lot of times we use it to beat ourselves up. Well, I should have been able to do that. That's not what we're talking about this week. And I'm going to read it because I found a definition that I was like, wow, you know what? That's all encompassing. And I couldn't say it better. So I'm going to read it. I apologize for that. Give me some latitude here. Self-mastery is the journey to self, to own all of who you are, accepting your polarities, cruel and kind, generous and tight. Come face to face with your shadows your limiting beliefs and blocks, releasing what no longer serves, and not having to pretend you are Polly or Peter perfect. Sure, you'll still be polite, but you'll be discerning, courageous, contained, humbly powerful in your leadership, knowing you are always learning. You'll speak well to yourself, to and of others. You'll step out of competition into co-creation. In business, people will want to work with you. People will want to be on your team. They will want what you are having because there is nothing more magnetic than someone who is comfortable in their own skin, not wanting anything from you. That's novel, but encouraging you to be your best and willing to share because they know whatever it is they have, there's always more. Wow. The difference between self-control and self-mastery is huge, huge. We'll talk about more of that in the next segment, what the biggest difference is. But self-mastery focuses on 4 basic areas: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Self-mastery focuses in 4 basic areas: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. What's mastery? So we talk about when someone says, hey, this person's mastered this, whatever the thing is, whatever. How long does it take to get your chef's papers? How long does it get to massage therapy? How long do you have to learn to be a doctor as an intern? They say on average 10,000 hours of practice will make you an expert, will give you mastery of a topic. How many of us have spent 10,000 hours in our life focused on mastering our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual in terms of our emotional intelligence? It's up there, but it's, I would say it's not a 10 and 10,000. How am I going to get there? We're going to talk about that in the show today too. We're going to talk about ways to improve it, ways to get there. But self-mastery is completely different than self-control. Self-control. It really is. Mastery typically is a long, ongoing, never-ending focus on improvement. It's focused long-term on mastering my physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Some people have their physical. I sold a vehicle to Jay Cutler, not the quarterback, the bodybuilder that won Mr. Olympia 4 times, I think. Massive, 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 massive guy. #1 in the world, Mr. Olympia, the highest award you can get in that type of a frame, in that kind of a situation. Incredible. I asked him one of the questions while we were talking over his car. What did you sacrifice to be #1 in your physical area of your life? In terms of muscle. And he laughed. He had this weird look on his face. He goes, you know what? That's a very good question because I sacrificed a lot. I said, like what? Well, my health, my family, my spiritual, my mental. I had to be really mentally tough in that really focused area. But everything else went for a crap. Why? Because he was so focused. All the energy was focused and channeled into that one area. Everything else goes for. How do you mentor somebody that's more affluent, makes more money, is more successful? How do you mentor that person? Because we get intimidated, like, oh no, I can't possibly. What can I teach them? What can I possibly pour into them or give them that would be of value to them? just because they're pro athletes, just because they're executives at a really high level, just because they're elite entrepreneurs, just because they're business, just because they have more money than you or me, or are more successful, doesn't mean they've got all their stuff together. I was going to say read a newspaper. I guess that dates me. Get your new pull up Google, pull up Edge, pull up anywhere that you Chrome. When you pull up the thing, all this news on there. Some of these people that are affluent, successful, they've got every accoutrement that you would think a happy, fulfilled person would have. Oh, that's right. They just overdosed. They just committed suicide. What? Why would they do that? Something was missing. They didn't have self-mastery of all those pieces, because if they had their physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual together, and they had mastery of those things, they wouldn't have done that. I know. I've been in that situation on the bathroom floor. I've been in that deep depression and suicidal state. I understand what that is. I have huge empathy. But my point is, in the moment, I didn't have mastery of those four things. I wasn't in control of those four things at the level I should have been or could have been. And there's lots of reasons for that. And I'm not making excuses, and I'm not saying it's good, bad, or otherwise. What I'm saying is, just because we have money in the bank, or drive a nice car, or live in a nice house, or have a great looking family, or because we do lots of charity, none of it matters. It doesn't matter. Well, some of these people are very well put together and have self-mastery. Some of them have very, very tight self-mastery, and that's wonderful. And it shows in the way they act and live and show up. But there's lots of people that look okay and look like everything's okay and look like they've got it all together, and they look like they've got mastery, and they don't. My message, and I'm hoping you're hearing this, please be journaling, please be writing this stuff down, please. Some of these people, they need the information. They need the awareness. They need to know it's okay not to be okay. There's nothing wrong with that. They need the resources to know where to go to reach out. The whole point of my mission is to make sure I teach tools and strategies so people understand. They get it. They know where to go. Stop using the word stigma. It's bullshit. It's just judgment. It's not stigma. It's judgment. We're saying I'm better than them because I don't have to deal with that. Now, I got a whole whack of my own shit to deal with, but I don't deal with that, so it's okay. I'm okay. I'm better than them. Don't do that. As long as we do that to people will choose suicide over asking for help, not because they don't know where even to go sometimes, but they don't want the shame and embarrassment and judgment, quite frankly, that comes with asking for help. I tell my sons all the time, asking for help is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. Asking for help means, you know what, I need help. I can't do this on my own. It takes courage to do that. It takes massive courage to do that. And I implore you, if you're in a space today where you're struggling or you need help, reach out, thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. If you need somebody to talk to, you need somebody that will listen, that cares about you and loves you and wants things to be okay, reach out. We have to get to a point where we can do that. And a lot of times what I'm finding is that has to be there ahead of time. It's got to be there. That tool has to be in the toolbox before we need it, because when we get into the situation, we can't access it anymore. Very difficult to access help because we can't see what's help in those moments. We're already past that point. I have to be able to put those tools in my toolbox before I need help. I can't go into a gunfight without the bullets in. They got to be preloaded. Gunfight doesn't work so good. Right? It just doesn't work well. I can't stop part of the way in and then put the bullets in. Right? So same way, a mechanic has to have the tools in his toolbox to make him effective to do the job before he needs the tool, or he's going to borrow it from a buddy's box. I hope you're hearing my heart. I really do. I'm a little bit passionate about this. I have empathy. I understand that space. I've been in that space. I know what that feels like. And I have massive, massive desire to help as many people as I can, men, women, everybody, to help everybody. I will not talk to everybody. My avatar and men, but you know what? I'll talk to anybody. If you need help, thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. I have to do a quick shout out. I got to take a quick break. Jose Escobar, my brother, is the founder and CEO of the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf. Check out the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf to learn more about the morning and evening routine mastery program that is changing people's lives. This program will help you install systems on the bookends of your day to maximize your morning and evening routine. Set up your free strategy session with Jose Escobar today, and you can reach him at theentrepreneursbookshelf.com. Again, that's theentrepreneursbookshelf.com. He's awesome. That program is amazing, and it is changing people's lives all over the place. If you're not doing something like that, a morning and evening piece, you need to reach out to Jose. Take a quick break. Don't forget to pause and breathe as we go to break, and we'll look forward to seeing you back in just a quick second. Thank you so much for being here. You're with the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville at Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
How much of our daily success relies on our mindset? Anything we are unaware of can still impact our lives. When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Why is the word stigma such a BS misnomer? Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Join the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville. The Chief Catalyst Strategist Guide at Jewel International invites you to an enlightening, sometimes shocking discussion. He will be challenging you to explore your own answers to these questions and so many more. This will lead you towards living an abundant, successful life no matter how you define it. Gordon D. Melville is live Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the long-bearded guy with Gordon D. Melville. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hey everybody, welcome back. You're with the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville on Inspired Choices Network. Today, in our series on emotional intelligence, we're talking about self-mastery, not self-control, self-mastery. Completely different deal. And so, what's the difference? I want to give that to you. What's the difference between self-control and self-mastery? Write this down, please. Self-control is a verb to exercise influence over. Self-control is a verb. It's an action to exercise influence over something else, somebody else, an idea, a thought, person, whatnot. Self-mastery is a noun. What do I mean? The position or authority of a master, command, supremacy. Self-mastery is a noun. Self-control is a verb. Self-control is something that we do on a, so if you look at it this way, we say sometimes, there's a saying that says, you can't see the forest for the trees. I can't see the forest for the trees. What does that mean? Well, the forest is a 30,000-foot view, right? I see this mash of green. I know there's a bunch of stuff there, or just a mash of green. Once I get on the ground, I can't see the whole forest anymore. What I see is a whole whack of trees. And so the saying is, I can't see the forest for the trees. Self-control are the trees. Self-mastery is the forest. Self-control are the bits and pieces. Self-mastery is the full picture. Self-control is the day-to-day. Self-mastery is the ongoing journey. It's the adventure we're on. But that takes awareness. It takes understanding. I need to practice self-control on a day-to-day basis, but that's getting me to the mastery. It's getting me to self-mastery, because I'm never ever going to get there. I'm never going to get to self-mastery. Not fully. Not ever. But that doesn't mean I don't keep putting it out there. I have to keep putting it out there. So the difference, self-control is a verb. It's an action. Exercising influence over, I'm putting that on somebody else. I'm actively doing something to change an idea, to change a person's, even my own. Maybe I'm trying to change my own. I'm trying to have self-control. I'm trying to control me, which, by the way, is the only thing I can control. If you have pets or children, you realize very quickly control is an illusion beyond what I think and what I do. For the love of Pete, don't abdicate the power. Oh, it is what it is. Bullshit, it's not. We have the ability to have self-control. We've been gifted that. The creator, source, Papa's gifted us that, the ability to control what we do. Do we use it? He wants us to have self-mastery. We want to help. Our life is so much better. I'm going to give you some ways to do that in the next section. But self-discipline, if it's allowed to be, can be a bully. Like I said, sometimes we walks around with a big stick. It's got a Louisville Slugger on its shoulder. Why? Because it stops us from it go, hey, you're not good enough. Hey, or you're not meeting your own expectation. So self-control can be a bully. It can be a box ticking. Have I done all the things I'm supposed to do? So I can say, hey, you know what? Puff up my chest and go, hey, and be egotistical and go, hey, look what I did. I'm not saying don't be proud of what you do. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in a negative way, self-control sometimes can be a tick the box deal. It can, if it's allowed to, restrict the flow. Self-control can restrict our flow if we allow it to. It can slow us down. It can stop our flow. If we can't self-control, we stop ourselves from being able to live abundantly. On the opposite side, and on a bigger picture, self-mastery is the warrior. Self-mastery is born out of the deep desire to improve and to grow intentionally. I want self-mastery. I want to be able to have in those things, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. I want to have mastery in those. Why? Because my life gets so much better. Our life gets easier. It's not as hard. There isn't as much stress and anxiety because I understand I can take it in stride. I'm controlling what's going on, not outside of me. I'm controlling my response to what's happening. Self-mastery, warrior, deep desire, it's flowing from there. Pure energy flow is self-mastery. It lasts forever. It's a never-ending journey. We will never get there. We will never see that forest all completely, fully mastered. We just won't get there in this lifetime. I know, and I don't believe that, but I know there's lots of people that believe in multiple lives where until we get it right, we just keep coming back. I find it very interesting as a thought process. What it means is what we're looking for, and what that concept of that, at least in my opinion, in my mind, I go there, what they're looking for, what they're talking about is self-mastery. I haven't self-mastered yet. I don't have mastery over my physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual at a level that is as full-rounded as it could be. So I come back again. I go through it again from another perspective. I come through it from another perspective. I just keep coming back until I figure it out. Self-mastery. Warrior, deep desire, pure energy flow. Just, you want to unlock your energy? You want to unlock your potential? I'm going to give you some stuff in the next segment about unlocking your potential using self-mastery. Having that kind of a thought process that says, you know what? And you've heard me say before, we plant an acorn in the ground. It's in the dirt. We put it in the dirt. Why? Because the nutrients it needs to grow are in the dirt. But the seeds in the ground, what the hell? What just happened? It looks at it as you just buried me. It looks at it as a negative thing. There's a native saying that says, they tried to bury me. They didn't realize I was a seed. That really resonates with me. I hope that resonates with you, because the challenges we face in our life, and you've heard me say this before, but the challenges we face in our life are the dirt we need to grow. The challenges hold the nutrients we need to grow. Don't grow, not with intention or any other way, when we're on the mountaintop. We grow in the valley. We grow during stress times. We grow during hard, difficult times, just the way we're built. It's the way Papa made us. But don't push back on that. I mean, don't create more challenges in your life than that. Don't manufacture challenges in your life. That's silly. But embrace the ones that are there. And I, you know what? I am not telling you, hey, I've got it all together, because I seriously do not have it together in lots of different ways. And I challenge, and it's a challenge for me, and I fight with it all the time. There's so many things I could tell you that are going on in our life that the hits just keep on coming. And I've said to multiple people recently, you know what? I've always had to, and I always do, but right at the moment, there's so many things going on that just keep hitting. And we just have to get up once more than we get knocked down. Get up once more than we get knocked down. As long as I can get up once more than I get knocked down, I'm successful. But I have to have a self-mastery vision. I have to be able to look at it that, no, I'm not going to get there. But that doesn't mean I don't try. I want it to be better so my life can be better. I want, that's what it says, warrior. Right? Warrior. Keep battling. Keep putting yourself into the fray. Why? Because you'll grow. You'll get better. You'll be a better human tomorrow, today, than you were yesterday. That's the goal. At the end of the day, I want, for lots of us, I want to be better today, and I want to be better tomorrow than I was yesterday. A little bit better. It doesn't matter if it's a lot or a little. I just want to be better tomorrow than I am today. How do I do that? I can't change my whole life today, but I can change the direction of my life today by the choices I make, by the things I think about, by the input of the things that I read, the people I listen to. MetaHuman. If you don't do Deepak Chopra, get a hold of him. Read his stuff. There's so many things there's so many good. I mean, there's a whole whack of stuff. I read 5 to 7 books a month. Why? Because I want that good stuff going in. I want that challenge. I'll read stuff now I know I not agree with. Just by reading the back of the book, I know I don't agree. But why? Because it challenges me. It forces me back into what I believe. It forces me to allow that mastery to grow and to get better and to advance. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It's how do I get to be better? How do I get self-mastery, not just self-control? I want self-mastery. I do that by using my self-control, right? I get to mastery by using self-control and exercising self-control, practicing self-control. But I hope you're seeing the difference between self-discipline and self-mastery. I have to take a quick break. If this, again, if you're learning stuff and this makes sense to you and you go, I need more of this, I need more of this, you know what? Reach out to me. Be happy to share with you. I have mentorship programs for groups. There's one coming up at the end of this month, starting again, called Box Inside Out. Sorry, ladies, it's for men, entrepreneurial men, but it's for men in general. And it's not outside the box thinking. It's eradicate the box, burn the box. There's no box. Tools and strategies to be able to deal with the regular emotions we all feel every day. How do I advance myself, my self-mastery to another level or to multiple levels up? How do I do that? So it's an 8-session over 4 months, but reach out to me if that makes sense to you, or you want some more information about that, you want to plug into that. I'm only allowing 12 guys into that class. So it's very small and it fills up really fast. So if you want to, or that you have interest in that, get a hold of me as fast as you can. And we'll plug you into that. In terms of, I do keynote speaking. I think I've got 9 or 10 this year already planned. But if you want me to come and talk to your youth group or your men's group or your church or your whatever, your association or whatnot, reach out. thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Reach out. If you want to continue this message to continue to go forward, you can help with in financial situations. I've got 3 spots open for sponsors currently. And if that resonates with you or you want to help that way, again, thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Happy to talk to you about that and give you details about how that works. So as we go to a quick break here, don't forget to pause and breathe. Don't forget to pause and breathe. It grounds us. It allows us to sit with the information, pause and breathe, read through the notes of what we've talked about today. Read through your journal. If you've got notes of other episodes, read through that stuff. Let it soak into you. We'll see you on the other side of this quick break. You're with the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville at Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
How much of our daily success relies on our mindset? Anything we are unaware of can still impact our lives. When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Why is the word stigma such a BS misnomer? Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Join the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville. The Chief Catalyst Strategist Guide at Jewel International invites you to an enlightening, sometimes shocking discussion. He will be challenging you to explore your own answers to these questions and so many more. This will lead you towards living an abundant, successful life no matter how you define it. Gordon D. Melville is live Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the long-bearded guy with Gordon D. Melville. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome back. You're with the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville on Inspired Choices Network. And today we're talking about emotional intelligence and our series of emotional intelligence about self-mastery. Self-mastery, different than self-control, self-mastery. I'm hoping that you, and not just hope, I pray that you're connecting with this information. I'm praying that Papa uses it to move you forward. And again, I'm not trying to polish a trophy. I'm trying to shake a cage. I'm trying to rattle a chain. I'm trying your chain and your cage. I'm trying to get people to wake up to the fact that, you know what, we have way more control of what's going on in our life than we give ourselves credit for. And we can do that by controlling ourselves. Self-control, self-mastery will give us that. It will provide that to us. A lot of times we abdicate it, right? It is what it is. Can't change it. So it's in the stars. It's way. No. Bullshit. We have control. Don't let go of the control of yourself. Don't stop trying to have self-mastery. Don't stop trying to exercise your self-control on a day-to-day basis. Understand how it works, be aware of it, find ways to improve it, and then live into that as you go forward. I want to touch real quick in this segment on how do I do that? So what are things, steps to self-mastery, unlocking our potential? How do we do that? So again, I've said that before, but someone telling me, hey, go do self-mastery, find self-mastery, do what you need to do to get self-mastery. What does that mean? What do I have to, so practically speaking, what is it I need to do to make that happen? Practically speaking, what do I need to do? How do I need to execute? What do I need to execute to help me get closer to self-mastery? Again, write these down. Have a beginner's mind is the first one. What? Have a beginner's mind. Never stop wondering. Take your ego out of it. Question everything. But have an open mind to learn. As soon as we close our mind, I know everything about everything of that topic. And church stuff is a great place to find people that have a lot of times have closed their mind. This is the only thing the fact there's 41 different denominations under the umbrella of Christianity, all out of one book, means a whole whack of people have closed their mind in terms of, hey, I've got all the information. It clearly says to you, but maybe that it says something else to somebody else. Maybe I don't have, and it's not maybe, none of us have the whole picture of what Papa's about. Nobody can tell us, hey, this is what on the other side. This is what happened before I was born or conceived even. This is what happens after I'm not here. Nobody knows. That's why they call it faith. Because nobody knows. Have a beginner's mind. Don't think you know it all, because you don't. I don't care what the topic is. I talk about people sometimes have forgot more about topics than I'll ever know, but that doesn't mean they know everything about that topic. Michael Jordan knows more than almost anybody else on the planet about basketball. Does he know everything about basketball? No. Lots, more than most, can execute better than almost everybody, but he doesn't know everything. He doesn't have everything. He doesn't know everything. Nobody does on any topic. Pick a topic. Doesn't matter how far they've researched into it. They don't have it all. So always, always, always have a beginner's mind. Never stop learning. Never stop wondering. Take your ego out of it. It's not, oh, I know all this about it. It doesn't matter. There shouldn't be ego. Leave your mind open. It doesn't mean you're so open-minded your brain falls out. That's not what I mean. But be open-minded. Maybe I don't know it all. Is that possible? Yes, it is. Such as possible. It's reality. I don't know everything about everything. I'm talking to you and sharing with you what I've learned. But I don't know it all. I put that out there for you guys to take and search inside yourself. You find your answers to yourself. My opinion about your journey doesn't mean squat, and yours about mine doesn't mean squat. No offense. Knowledge seeking and implementing is a way to self-mastery and unlocking your potential. Not just knowledge seeking, not just reading books and going to seminars and not just getting the information, implementing the information, doing something, execute on it, do something with the information. Don't just get it as a knowledge. Consistent effort. Ooh, that's a tough one. Now we're back to self-control. But doing that self-control piece and being consistent, they said one of the hardest things as a parent, for those of you that are parents, those of us that are parents, the hardest thing is being consistent in the way that we exercise and meter out not the expectation, but the judgment of what we're looking to have happen. I don't want to use the word expectation because it's not an expectation. Do I have a desire my kids do a certain thing a certain way? Yep. Do I show them how to do it? Yep. Do I want them to do it that way? Yep. Do I anticipate they'll do exactly what they were told? I can anticipate that. I can want that very badly. Good luck. Consistent effort, the audacity of doing over and over and over, consistently showing up. I can't show up at the gym 2 days and go, wow, this is unreasonable, right? I haven't lost 30 pounds. I've been here 2 days in a row. I was concerted effort for 2 days. You know what? It doesn't work that way. We didn't get out of shape in 2 days. We consistently did the wrong thing, and now we're out of shape. I keep telling my wife, hon, circle is a shape. Sweetheart, I have the body of a god. It's Buddha, but still, anyway, trying to add levity. Consistent effort, persistence, consistent effort. Persistence, starting is the easy part. Keeping it going in the grind is that's where successful comes from. That's where emotional self-mastery comes from. Consistently putting myself in the space, stretching that muscle, growing that muscle. People get married all the time. That's easy. Why do they have a 50% divorce rate? And the percentage goes up on second, third, fourth marriage. Why? Because saying I do in the moment, no big deal. We're in all this honeymoon phase and we're all infatuated. And they say love is blind, but marriage is an eye opener. Marriage is the eye opener. Why? Because now I got to put my money where my mouth is. For a lot of people, the marketing package to attract the person was way better than the actual product. But that's the easy part. The marketing part it's the fun part. It's the getting to know. It's the fresh and exciting. And the hard part is, my wife and I will be 31 years this year. That's the hard part. Why? Because the rubber meets the road. We're way past the honeymoon phase. It's real life, every day, real life, all the regular things and the real life stuff that I love her to death. I'm in love with her. That's wonderful, but that won't get us past some of the challenges that we have. I have to be able to have persistent, consistent effort. Patience. I got to take another break. I got to talk fast. Patience. Mastery is a process. Self-mastery is a process. I have to be patient with the process. I keep putting myself in the process patiently. Excuse me. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in 2 days. It's going to take time. Mastery takes time. 10,000 hours plus. It's going to take time. Be patient with the process. It's long and hard. Forget about the immediate gratification. That's not happening. Self-discovery has to happen. I have to look at myself. I have to discover who I am and who I'm being and who I want to become. Again, awareness. Self-management is self-control, part of self-mastery. Self-motivation. I'm the only person that can motivate me. I can be inspired. It's 444, self-care. But the self-motivation, I can be inspired by other people. I can inspire other people, but I can't motivate them. They can inspire me, but they can't motivate me. I have to do that for myself. Self-motivation. And that's hard. That's not easy, especially in the grind. Day after day after day after day after day after day after day. It's grind. Self-motivation. Time management. One of the things I got, clients to do was to write down, account for the next 2 weeks. Do it as an exercise for yourself. Account for the next 2 weeks of your time, every minute. You don't have to tell me what you're doing in the bathroom, but if you spent 4 minutes in the bathroom, tell me you spent 4 minutes in the bathroom. Write it down in your journal. Account for every second of every day. I was sleeping from this time, went to bed this time, I got up at this time. This is what I did. This is what it's a pain in the bum, I know, but for 2 weeks, people, and then you look at it, crap, I waste so much time. There's so much time that just goes away. I could be way more effective. Time management, block it out. Do you give yourself the best times first, or do you give just the dregs of what's left over? Everybody else gets you before you get you. It's not the way to do it. Block out the times you want, and what time is left goes to the other people. Energy management. I'm doing on a day to day. I'm a walking billboard for what happens when you don't do self-care, when you don't have any energy management. You just keep putting it out for other people, putting it out and putting it out, putting it out and putting it out and putting it out and putting it out, and not looking after yourself. I'm a walking billboard for what happens, and it's not good. Very bad. Energy management. Don't sit and spend time with energy vampires. You may not be, they just keep sucking it out of you, right? There's people like that, but you may not be able to get away from them 100%, but limit the time and exposure to them, and then rinse and repeat. Do all those things again. You'll get where you want to go. You'll have mastery, which will make your life better. I'm late to take the break. Quick shout out to Jose Escobar, the founder and CEO of the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf. Check out the Connected Leaders Academy. Is a membership program to take your business to the next level, not just to the next level, to multiple levels. This is the perfect tribe to learn, grow, and connect like never before. The Connected Leaders Academy tribe brings together some of the highest level entrepreneurs from all over the world. Set up a virtual coffee with Jose Escobar today and you can reach him at theentrepreneursbookshelf.com. That's theentrepreneursbookshelf.com. Jose Escobar. I love him. One of my founding partner sponsors. Would love for you to join Jose in helping me get the message out. We're going to take a quick break. Don't forget to pause and breathe. We'll be right back. You're with the long-bearded guy, Gordon D Melville, on Inspired Choices Network. Don't go anywhere.
How much of our daily success relies on our mindset? Anything we are unaware of can still impact our lives. When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Why is the word stigma such a BS misnomer? Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Join the long-bearded guy, Gordon D Melville. The Chief Catalyst Strategist Guide at Jewel International invites you to an enlightening, sometimes shocking discussion. He will be challenging you to explore your own answers to these questions and so many more. This will lead you towards living an abundant, successful life no matter how you define it. Gordon D Melville is live Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is the Long-Bearded Guy with Gordon D Melville. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to the longbeardedguy@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Gordon D Melville, the long-bearded guy on Inspired Choices Network. We're talking part 8 of our emotional intelligence on self-mastery. What is the difference between self-control and self-mastery? Self-control is a verb, that's an action. Self-mastery is a noun. Self-control is the trees, it's the stuff we do on a day-to-day. Self-mastery is the whole journey. It's a long, elongated adventure. And both are important. We need to do the self-control to get the self-mastery. So there's some good things there. We understand the difference between the two, that self-mastery focuses in 4 basic areas: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. We're looking to increase those awarenesses and the mastery in ourself. It's not world domination. It's not Pinky in the brain. It's control of ourself, control of my own mind, my own emotion, master control, so that when it stimulus, pause, respond. I need to be able to do that, but I can't do that if I don't have emotional mastery. If I don't have high levels of emotional intelligence, it makes it virtually impossible to pause because I just have no self-control in the moment. Something happens and instantly I have a reaction to it. Somebody cuts me off in traffic, instantly I have a visceral reaction to that. I have, no, wait. Right? I can only do that if I have emotional intelligence mastery. Another week, another episode. Unbelievable. I hope this is resonating. I really do. If it does, reach out to me. I want to just touch real quick. Call to action this week. Call to action this week. Really struggling with my tongue today. Call to action. Commit to yourself to stay the course. Mastery requires long term. It's not a flash in the pan. It's not a sprint. Right? It's a long steeplechase even. Right? It's not a marathon even. It's a steeplechase. It's a steeplechase built into a marathon. It's a steeplechase built into a super marathon. Because it's going to last our whole life. And we're going to have to get over obstacles and over shrubs and through water hazards and all these different things. Why? Because that's how life works. We'd love it just to go, but that's not how it works. It's all squiggly and all over the place. Why? Because that's life. It's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be fair. It's not supposed to be something that we just sort of fly by night through. It's supposed to be hard. The weird part is this: the harder I live my life in terms of my personal development and my self-control, the tighter I hold my self-control, the easier my life gets. The less self-control I have, the harder my life gets. I'm going to say that again. The more self-control I use, the easier my life gets. The less self-control I use, the harder my life gets. Think about that. Because it all begins in our mind. It begins with what we're thinking. And if we've got stinking thinking, we are not going to be able to pump out a positive life. If we can't self-control, we make our life harder. I challenge you, control your own self. Make it a point to learn to control yourself and understand that that's a part of self-mastery. Understand this is a marathon with a whole bunch of ups and downs and all over the place, squigglies and upside downs and all this different stuff. That's life. Commit to yourself to stay the course. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's difficult. Yep, it's going to be brutal. Blood, sweat, tears. Yes, it's going to be all that and more. But it's worth it. It's worth it. How boring would it be if there was never any challenge? Along day to day. Now, I say that sometimes boring is underrated.